Hello everyone. The biting winter wind howled through the streets of Chicago as Emily clutched her coat tighter around her. The city, usually alive with energy, was eerily quiet, muffled by a blanket of fresh snow. She was walking home from her evening shift at the diner, her feet sore and her wallet almost empty. Rent was due, and groceries were running low, but she had scraped together just enough to get through the week. As she passed the park on 5th Street, she spotted a man huddled against a bench. His clothes were thin, his hands trembling as he attempted to wrap his arms around himself for warmth. His face was pale, and his eyes were sunken with exhaustion. Emily slowed her pace, the sight tugging at her heart. "Ma'am, spare anything," he murmured, his voice barely audible over the wind. She hesitated, her hand brushing the last $20 in her pocket. That money was for her bus pass and a few essentials until her next paycheck. But as she looked at him, shivering and helpless, a wave of guilt washed over her. How could she turn away? Without a word, Emily knelt beside him and pressed the bill into his frozen hand. "Here," she said softly. "Get yourself something warm to eat." His eyes widened in disbelief. "Thank you," he stammered, tears welling up. She didn't wait for him to say more, afraid she might second-guess herself. The cold gnawed at her as she hurried home, the weight of her decision settling heavily. What would she do now? That night, sleep didn't come easily. She tossed and turned, replaying the moment in her mind. Had she been foolish? How would she make it to work without bus fare? Yet, deep down, she felt a strange sense of peace. The next morning, Emily opened her door to grab the newspaper and found an envelope on her doormat. Her name was scrawled across the front in shaky handwriting. Confused, she tore it open. Inside was a handwritten note and a crisp $100 bill. The note read, "Dear Emily. You don't know me, but I know kindness when I see it. I was sitting in my car last night, parked near the park, when I saw you give your last $20 to a man in need. What you didn't know is that he's my brother. We've been estranged for years, but I've been searching for him to bring him home. Your selfless act reminded him of the goodness in people and convinced him to accept my help. You didn't just save him from the cold, you gave him hope. Thank you for being the light in a dark moment. Please accept this as a small token of my gratitude. Warm regards. A stranger, **. Tears blurred Emily's vision as she read the letter over and over again. The man from last night wasn't just a nameless face in the cold. He was someone's brother, someone's family. Her small act of kindness had set off a ripple she could never have imagined. With the $100 in hand, Emily bought her bus pass and stocked her pantry. But more than that, she carried the letter with her everywhere, a reminder that even the smallest gesture could change someone's life. From that day on, she made it a point to look for ways to help others, whether it was a warm meal, a kind word, or just a listening ear. And every time she doubted the impact of her actions, she thought back to that snowy night and the letter that changed everything.